Listen up, maggots. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse.
So, Kelly, just while we've got you, have you ever wanted to be a wrestler yourself?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, growing up, you kind of idolize what your parents do, right? So I idolized my father, of course, and wanted to be a wrestler. And I was not encouraged to do so because my dad lived the life, didn't want that for me. And my mom didn't like my dad wrestling, so she didn't want it for me. So it kind of just fell to the wayside. But I feel like I would have been a really good wrestler. I wanted to wrestle the boys. When I was young, there was the women in wrestling when I was young were Miss Elizabeth. Right. And then, so Arm Candy, basically. Nothing against Miss Elizabeth. Love you, Miss Elizabeth. Oh, I don't mean anything against Miss Elizabeth.
You're actually allowed to say that.
Candy in the best possible way.
No, but
she was probably the ultimate eye candy.
Yeah, wrestling fans feel that they feel that way about the old managers, though. Like when you said it, I didn't like my Spidey sense didn't go off. I was like, yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
okay, good,
right,
okay. Yeah. So it was the women in WWE were Arm Candy, and I didn't want to be Arm Candy. I wanted to wrestle the boys. Glow was great, but I felt like it was cat fighting, and I didn't want to cat fight and pull hair and all of that. I wanted to beat the boys' asses.
Right, you want to
and there was no one doing that. So I didn't really have that to look up to. Now, looking back on it, I'm like, I could have been the one everybody else was looking up to.
Right.
But it just didn't happen for me that way. Now, I don't think I could take a bump to save my life.
So what would your gimmick have been?
Probably Slaughter Daughter.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I would have been Slaughter Daughter, the badass bitch, Slaughter Daughter. And I would have had, fatigues and a black tank top and probably a whistle and hat. Not like my dad. It would have been just, I don't even know what they're called, but just with a bill on it, not a, just a hat, camo hat. And I would have beat their butt.
All right. On that note, I'd like to ask a question to Kelly. Okay.
Yeah.
So, given what you just said, if you really had gone into wrestling, when would you have gotten in? When would you have been your prime? Because we're going to do some fantasy booking here and think who else would have been in the scene at the time that you could have been booked against. I know you wanted to beat up the boys, but depending on when your timeline would have fallen, you may have gotten the chance to go against some really iconic women wrestlers, depending on that timeline. So
that's true. Well, I think China would have been in there, and China totally would have kicked my ass.
Oh, she was tough as nails. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think she was the one that.
Funny story about China, actually, is that when my sister and I first got to meet her, my dad brought her up because there was always people said that she looked like my dad. And so when he introduced us, he went, Joni, come here. I want you to meet your sisters.
Nice.
So she came over and was, of course, very gracious and sweet and just very nice.
I'm picturing you throwing top rope drop kicks on China in around 1999 or 2000, right? Hanging in there, like doing the Trish Stratus thing, doing the athletic thing. Right, but she does have the Sarge chin. Now that I think about it, now that you pointed it out,
and the dark
now
hair,
I see it.
Yes,
yeah.
So, but yeah, because in '99 and 2000, I would have been 19 and 20. So
okay. Sensational Sherry was a pretty hard ass manager. Probably wasn't too shy about getting in the ring every now and again.
Yeah,
he wasn't. She could take a bump like a pro.
Oh yeah, but I think with China, she really paved the way for not just women wrestling, but like you wanted to do, where get in the ring with the boys, and she could tussle with the best of them. She's greatly missed, China.
Absolutely,
is, for sure.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just walking the timeline in my head and asking myself, would Kelly have overlapped with the Four Horsewomen and Charlotte? I think you would have just overlapped with the beginning
end.
of, yeah, like you might have
Yeah, like
been
passing the
coming
torch.
on the way down while they were on the way up. Like you still would have crossed paths with the Charlotte Flairs and the Becky Lynches. See,
Yeah.
I'm fantasy booking for you right now, just thinking in an alternate timeline, right? And in that same
Yeah.
alternate timeline, I'm a foot taller than I really am, and I would have been in the ring at some point in time. But if I was ever going to be a wrestler, I would have had to go the Rey Mysterio route, right? But I looked at what Rey Mysterio did, and I'm like, that looks really tiring. I'm going to stick to my
Yeah, he
books.
had a lot of
Acrobatics
energy.
and- yeah, it's amazing, amazing athletics.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment down below.